Hi everyone, this is page 2 of the Unit 4 study guide. We're going to go over numbers 5 through 10 in this video. We're going to be finding the zeros, and we're going to do it by factoring, and we're going to also find the zeros, which are the same as the solutions, using quadratic formula. So, to begin, you need to set each equation equal to 0. Before you can do anything, before you can do quadratic formula, before you can start factoring, you need to get everything set equal to 0. So for number 5, that's a positive 36 right now. We're going to subtract 36 from both sides. So that'll be 0. This will be m squared minus 36. So that's a difference of 2 squares. If you remember that from Unit 2, that's going to help us solve this. That's the kind where you have 2 sets of parentheses, one with a plus sign and one with a minus sign. And then you take the square root. So this is m and m. Square root of 36 is 6. This goes here and here. And now to finish this off, you're going to take each set of parentheses, just like you did in the notes and for the homework. Take each thing and set it equal to 0. So m plus 6 equals 0, and m minus 6 equals 0. So solve for m equals negative 6, and m equals positive 6. Those are your zeros, which are the same as solutions. Okay, number 6. You need to add p to both sides. That becomes 0. These are not going to combine, all right? So you just write it p squared plus p. Now, we can factor that also. It only has 2 terms. So what you want to do is find a GCF. The GCF is p. Then make parentheses. This is p, and then this is 1 equals 0. Now set each of the factors equal to 0. So p equals 0. That's this one. If you want to put parentheses around it, you can, but you don't have to. The other one is p plus 1 equals 0. So that's done, that's answered. This one, subtract 1 from both sides, so p equals negative 1. Those are your 2 zeros. Excuse me. Okay, number 7. Now this one, we need to subtract 6x from both sides. Now, the x terms got to go in the middle, okay, because we need to think about this. This needs to be ax squared plus bx plus c. So this 6x has got to go in between the x squared and the 8 so that it's in descending order. So this is 0, and then it's going to be x squared minus 6x plus 8. Okay, we're going to factor it. That's got 3 terms, so we're going to do trinomial method. 1 multiplies to 8 adds up to negative 6. So that's going to be negative 4 and negative 2. So we scratch this out, bring this down, x squared minus 4x minus 2x, bring this down, plus 8. Take out an x, you're left with x minus 4. Bring down the minus sign, take out a 2, you're left with x minus 4. Negative times negative gives you positive, that's why that needs to be a negative 4. And then your answer is x minus 2 times x minus 4. Now remember, this is an equation. It's set equal to 0. So you set each one of these equal to 0. X minus 2 equals 0, so x equals 2. And then the other one would be x minus 4 equals 0, so x equals 4. There's your 2 zeros for that one. All right, try to curve this around here a little bit. Number 8. Now, for this one, we need to subtract 6 and add a. So subtract 6, add a. So a squared, let's see, we'll put this all in the right order. It needs to be plus a, and then minus 6 equals 0. So we need to think of what multiplies to negative 6 and adds up to 1. It's going to be 3 and negative 2. So we scratch this out, rewrite this, a squared plus 3a minus 2a minus 6 equals 0. Now we're going to group these two, we're going to group these two. So take out an a, you're left with a plus 3. Bring down the minus sign. Take out a 2, you're left with a plus 3 equals 0. So a minus 2 times a plus 3 equals 0. Set them each equal to 0. A minus 2 equals 0, so a equals 2. A plus 3 equals 0, so a equals negative 3. Okay, that's your answer to number 8. If you need to pause this at any time to catch up, feel free to do that, and that way you can take your time writing all the steps down and thinking about it, and then start the video back up when you need to. Okay, so 9 and 10 are quadratic formula. We're going to give you quadratic formula on this test. They're going to give you the quadratic formula on the SOL. You just need to know how to use it. So you got to get your equation set equal to 0. We can't use it at this point. We got to get it equal to 0 first. So we're going to subtract 6, and we're going to subtract 5x. So this will be 9x squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. Okay, can't take out a GCF there, so guess we're going to do trinomial method. Actually, no, we're not going to do trinomial method. We're going to do quadratic formula. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess because so much factoring. All right, here we go. A equals 9. B equals negative 5, and C equals negative 6. Alright, so x equals negative b, so like that'll be a positive 5, plus or minus b squared. Alright, that's 25, because it's a negative 5 times another negative 5, that's why it's a positive 25. Then minus 4 times 9 times negative 6. All over 2 times 9. Okay, so let's simplify things a little bit. I gotta grab my calculator for this. So I'm gonna figure this number out under here. That's called the discriminant underneath here. So 25 minus 4 times 9 times negative 6. What is that? 241. All right, so this will be x equals 5 plus or minus the square root of 241 all over 18. Now, I'm going to take a chance and see if 241 is a perfect square. Square root 241. And nope, not a perfect square. Okay, so we're going to break this down. Here we go. 241. What are two numbers that go into 241? Well, let's see. 241 divided by 3. Nope. That's not going to work. How about 241 divided by 6? Nope. 241 divided by 7. So 241
divided by 9. Nope. Still getting a decimal answer for this one. So it looks like 241 is not being very cooperative. It's actually prime. So we're going to leave our answer just like this. Here's one answer. 5 plus the square root of 241 all over 18. And then the other answer, if I can squeeze it in here, is 5 minus the square root of 241 all over 18. Remember, with quadratic formula, you always have an answer with the plus sign and another answer with the minus sign. That's always going to happen that way. And those are your two answers right there. Okay? Okay, I'm going to erase this. Let's do number 10. So we need to get it set equal to 0. Subtract 13 from both sides. So 2r squared minus 13 equals 0. Okay, so a is 2. B, I don't think I have a b. There's nothing with just a regular r there. So that's 0. C is negative 13. So x equals negative b, so negative 0, still 0, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 0 squared is 0, minus 4 times 2 times negative 13, all over 2 times 2. Okay, so let's figure out this discriminant right here. Let's figure that out.
So it's going to be 0. I'm putting the 0 in and everything. 0 minus 4 times 2 times negative 13. 104. Alright, so I thought it was going to be negative, but it came out positive. So we need the plus or minus part. You can put the 0 if you want to. And then this will be the square root of 104 all over 4. So I know 104 is not a perfect square, but we can definitely break 104 down. So let's see. 104 is going to be 2 and 52, 2 and 26, and 2 and 13. 13 is going to be prime, so that's going to end that out right there. I need to take out groups of 2 because I'm doing a square root. So this will be, here's 2 2's. I take 1 2 out. So 0 plus or minus 2. Let's see what's left underneath here. 2 times 13. So square root of 26 all over 4. So one answer will be 0 plus 2. So positive 2 root 26 over 4. And some of you are thinking, can we reduce that? Yeah, you totally can reduce this to 1/2 if you want to. And then the other answer will be 0 minus, so negative 2 root 26 all over 4. Okay, and there's your answer. Let me know if you have any questions.